So this is the beginning of my 100-day shawl, and she's not at all what I imagined her to be, but that's okay. She's doing her own thing, and I am going to show you how we get started here. But instead of, I'm going to do a little edging here, and instead of trying to use this last bit, I'm just going to pull over the main color that I will be using. This is Chantilly, I believe. And so I'm just going to demonstrate it with this instead. All right, so we are going to begin. You can begin with a slip knot on your chain if you want, okay? Or you can just skip the knot if you are brave and frisky like that. And then I'm going to begin with a chain of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and not too tight, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and so now I'm going to flip this over. I like to work into the back bump of my chain, so I'm going to skip this first one right there, and into the second chain from my hook, I'm going to work 3 single crochets. Okay, so we're adding our shaping from the very get-go, all right? So all into this same loop here, I'm going to work 3 single crochets. So there's the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and put a stitch marker in under the top 2 loops, there we go, of my first single crochet. So now I'm going to work 2 more there in the very same spot. So that's 2 and 3, okay? And so now, continuing to work into the back bumps, or for you, whichever part of the chain you are most comfortable with, I'm going to single crochet in each of these chain stitches all the way across to the very last one. So there's 1, 2. And this is a little slow. 3. Feel free to pause or fast forward me. Ooh, snag. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. 9. Oh, the sunshine just went behind a cloud. 10. 11. There's some of that wonderful tweedy texture. And what was that, 12 and 13? And then here, this is our last one, and I'm going to work 3 single crochets into the very last chain. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So that is our first row of the shawl. All right, so now I'm going to turn without chaining. Now you can, if you want, to do a chain of either 4 or 5, depends on your tension. But I am going to work a chainless treble crochet. So I'm going to pull this loop up nice and tall because we want to have plenty of space here. And I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook twice. Okay, so I'm mimicking the yarn overs for a regular treble crochet. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch there. So under those top 2 loops, yarn over and pull up a loop. And so now I have a fake 4 loops on my hook, right? And so carefully, I'm going to take off 2 at a time. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So that completes my chainless treble crochet of choice. You can use whatever you prefer. All right, and so coming back here, I'm going to try not to twist it, but I'm going to work into that same first stitch again. So that's right here. That's where this is coming out of. I know it's a teeny tiny loop there, right? Right, and we're going to work a extended double crochet. So yarn over as if you're going to do a regular double crochet. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3, loops on your hook, just like a regular double crochet so far, right? We're going to basically chain 1, okay? So this gives just a teeny tiny bit of extra height to our double crochet, and so that it makes a nice transition between the treble crochet and the double crochet that we're going to work. So that was an extended double crochet, and now we're going to work a regular double crochet into that same first stitch again. So essentially we're doing an increase of 3 stitches on both ends, on both rows. All right, and so now we're just going to double crochet in each stitch across to our last stitch. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, more yarn, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and there is 17. There's our last stitch. Actually, this is our last stitch. We put the stitch marker in there, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take out that stitch marker, and I'm going to do the same thing we did to begin with, except backwards. So I'm going to work it all into this last stitch here, a double crochet, then an extended double crochet. So remember, same as you would normally want, except you add this little, focus please, add this little, back up, chain 1. So it's just a chain 1 at the bottom of your double crochet. So make sure that you go ahead and yarn over again, and then complete your double crochet as normal. And then the last stitch that goes here is a treble. So yarn over twice, and then insert your hook, and then we take off 1, 2, 3 at a time, okay? And so there's row 2. And that's what you're going to do for this first part of the shawl. You're going to repeat these 2 rows. So that would just be chain 1, turn, and then 3 single crochets into your first stitch. Mark the top of your first one so you don't lose it. 2 and 3 all into that same first stitch. And then you just single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end, and then work 3 single crochets into your last stitch. So all you're going to do is repeat those 2 rows. And if you're counting your stitches, you're going to increase your stitch count by 4 on each row, okay? So if we take a look at this, with my 1 mini skein, I got, so there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21 rows. And then I think I'm going to do my edging for the next step with half double crochet. So I have to test that out and see how it works out. But if you wanted to, you could continue working these same 2 rows using mini skeins. You could add in, if you want to use a main color in between the mini skeins, you could just do a couple rows in this, just the regular single crochet and double crochet. If you wanted to mix it up a little bit, you could try doing a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then that would make it a little bit more open. And it would also make your yarn go just a tiny bit further as well. But yeah, you could totally just take this stitch pattern, alternating the single and double crochet rows with the increases at the end of each row on both sides, and have a project just like this, and it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger until you either run out of yarn or reach the size that you want. So that is the first step, and we'll see how she turns out next after this.